Welcome everybody to our event here today. We're really excited that you guys could join us. A couple of housekeeping issues. If you guys could make sure your phone is on vibrate or in airplane mode. If you could do that, that'd be awesome. Secondly, the restrooms are back near the front door where you came in. Instead of walking straight into this room, you would have turned left and then a quick right, and the restroom's right there. So if you need a restroom, please.
All right, let's have some fun. So we have a couple of sponsors here that make all of this possible for us. They are rock stars, right? They're putting their money where their mouth is, and they are investing in you guys. So we'd highly advise you to use them, talk to them. They're here. They're invested in your career. So why don't we get Doble up here first? Everybody knows John. So John's with Summit Funding. They're right here in Elk Grove. If you guys know, they train like nobody else. Have it, buddy.
Thank you very much. Welcome to the top producer panel. My name is John Doble. I'm the branch manager of Summit Funding. About to celebrate my 21st year with Summit Funding next month. And proud to say that Summit Funding in Elk Grove, we just had our 15th year anniversary party this last Friday, and some of you were there. So thank you for joining us. If you are clients of ours, thank you very much for supporting us. We value our relationship with you. We take it very seriously. If you are not currently a client of ours, look one of us up. We'll look you guys up. Let's try to get together and do some business. We've got 10 loan officers here in Elk Grove. Like I said, we've been open for 15 years. We've got a ton of diversity. We've got bilingual capabilities. We've got people who have been in the business for 30 years. Like I said, I've been in business for 21 years. So thank you for the opportunity. Again, John Doble, Summit Funding. And I'm just going to let these, we're missing two. Some of you guys might know Rich Manning, 7-foot Rich Manning, whose son is about to go into the big leagues here. He's in Player of the Year for AA for the Detroit Tigers. So he's out of town. And then also we're missing Josh Bartuka. But other than that, come on up and introduce yourself. Thank you again.
Thanks, John. Hey, I'm Greg Stillwell. Next year, I'm celebrating my 31st year in the business. Thank you so much for coming. You have a great panel of presenters today. And just a word about our little branch in Elk Grove. In 31 years, I've never worked with a finer group of people who have the highest degree of integrity that this group has. So I'm privileged to be here. We're thankful to be a sponsor for this fine group and have fun and learn something this afternoon. Thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Summer Lopes. I've been serving the community for 18 years in mortgage lending. I agree with Greg, and just a fine group of individuals. I love the team at Summit Funding. So Summer Lopes, serving you 365 days.
So my name is Belinda. I've been with Summit Funding for 18 years and 14 years in Elk Grove. Living here in Elk Grove for about 22 years. So serving Elk Grove. Thank you.
Hello everyone. I'm Sheila Bennett. I was originally a real estate broker for about 14 years, and I decided that I love loans. So I'm now with Summit Funding, the best company in Elk Grove. So hope to do business with you.
David King. I've been at Summit for 7 years, been in the business for 29 years, so I got in when I was 3. But just a fantastic company. They do things right, training, anything that you need, we can help you grow your business. So glad you guys are here. Glad to know Doug and Sheldon. They've been fantastic business partners, and the panel is just great. You guys are going to enjoy it. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Gomez-Waki, and I have been with Summit 17 years. So we have a lot of old-timers at our office, very experienced agents. But it is, a pleasure to help you guys grow your business and be able to sponsor the speakers today, and just to know that we're here to help you in any way. Like most of them said, we do trainings and have realtor forums on a monthly basis. So look out for some of our invites. Thank you.
Sean Dressel's my name. John told me to keep it short and sweet today. buying a house is a big deal, and we make it that way at Summit Funding. So thank you all for all your business. Appreciate it. Have a great time today.
Yeah. Thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Hey, all right. So a couple of things. First of all, I guess I didn't introduce myself, but I'm Doug Grace, I'm a realtor here in Elk Grove. We do have some really fantastic speakers today, so please take notes. All right. And when you guys get home and you're done with the event, take notes from your notes. And then implement those just as quickly as possible. It's really important. The speed of implementation will determine where you guys go and how you get your business to the next level. So that's really important.
No, you got it. You're good. I'm Sheldon Steele, by the way. I guess I forgot that. I skipped over a few notes, but thank you, John, again for that. And we do have a couple more. We're going to run them through fast so we can get to this. We're running behind. So where's Angela? Angela's here with CalPro. If you can run up here real quick, Angela. Angela and I were talking this morning about putting a whole marketing package together. So we're going to have some fun, but let's see what you can do for us.
Hello, everybody. My name is Angela Dunbar. I am with CalPro Inspection Group, and it is my blessing to be here today and help put on this event. I'm the one that gave you the packet and the little bag of chocolate. I'm not going to keep you because we got a lot in store for you, but I do just want to ask you, how many of you have a home inspection company that includes $25,000 in warranty coverage with every inspection and a 5-year roof leak cert with their home inspection? No. Okay. Call me, because I do. And I would love to tell you about it. You have my information. Enjoy this afternoon. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Angela. Now, I know you guys, obviously, this event didn't cost you anything today, but it's not free to put these on. We have wonderful sponsors here that help us. They are great business partners, so please, have a chance later, go up and introduce yourself and meet them. We do have one more that we would like to introduce you to today. Her name is Aurora. Where are you at, Aurora? Here she comes. Everybody please welcome Aurora from Intrinsic Insurance Services.
Hi, everyone. So as he said, I'm Aurora from Intrinsic Insurance. We're out of Orangeville. I've been in this industry for about 20 plus years. So like David, I started when I was 3. But we are a very niche-driven insurance agency. So we focus on all those really hard-to-place homes. So if you have older homes, if you have homes in high flood risk, we have a ton of private insurance companies that we can really get that funding right through for you, as well as the high fire. So if any of you guys have dealt with selling any of the homes in the mountain region, anywhere along Folsom as it's starting to expand down, we have about 20 different companies that are still writing that we have access to, and we can get those all done within about a week's time right now. So give us a shot, reach out to us, and if you have any questions throughout the day, just reach out to us. We'll be in the back.
Thank you, Aurora. A couple more sponsors we like to just mention real quick. We do have Liza Lombardi here with Snap NHD, Velato Mori with Top Notch 360 Real Estate Photography, and Esther Kiru, I hope I said your name right, Esther, your last name, with Delight Home Staging and Design. With that in mind, please do get a chance to meet up with them during the mixer portion of today's event and introduce yourself. They're fantastic people to do business with. So our panel is pretty dynamic. We have 3 very special people here. The first one I'd like to introduce you is a master team builder here out of Elk Grove. He's a board member for Habitat for Humanity. He's on the political action trust. He's a political action trustee for the Board of Realtors. Everyone, please welcome Kevin Cooper. All right, next. Very dynamic individual agent, very high producer. She's on the board of directors for the Asian Real Estate Association of America. She's been doing that for 8 years. She'll do about 75 deals by herself this year. Everyone, please welcome Luann Shikasho. And last but certainly not least, go ahead, Sheldon.
All right. I don't know if I'm worthy of this one, though. We got Mr. Brent Gove, right? Everybody knows Brent, national speaker, trainer. Brent's leading a team of what? I think over 5,600 agents now across the nation, soon to be international. But Brent, hey, we're really appreciative of you for coming out and want you to get up here, dude. All right, let's roll. So we're just going to dive right into it. I think that we're going to start with Brent by the looks of it, but we'll kind of go elementary and then maybe dig into a little more production-based stuff. But maybe, Brent, maybe you can kind of lead off telling us how long have you been licensed now?
23 years.
All right. Then why don't we just go down, we'll just go down the list and we'll have Luann crack at it and then Kevin.
10 years. I'm the baby.
18 years.
18, right on. I like this, and I didn't know Luann's only been licensed 10 years. So why don't you tell us, Kevin, how many deals did you close your first year?
My first year, I closed 43 deals. I came
Holy
out
smokes.
of UPS, and I had a bunch of fear, and it just worked out well, and it went up from there.
And if I remember right, how many was it the first month?
I did like 17 deals in escrow the first month and a half. I didn't know what I was doing. I had procured my database from the company I worked for, and I just came to work, working as many hours as I did for the man. So I would start work at 4:30 in the morning, and I wouldn't end until 10 o'clock at night. And unless I had my daughter that night, and of course I'd stop at a reasonable hour. But it was ridiculous. I had a lot in escrow, and then my transaction coordinator, damn her, went out on maternity leave, and I went from a real estate agent to a TC and pulled my 17 deals through.
I love it. And you're going to have to dive in a little later because I have a feeling that at least half the people in here would love to close 17 deals, at least in their first year. And you did it, what, a month and a half?
Got him in escrow, closed him 30 days after that, but it was pure fear.
We all know that, Ben. Yeah. So how about you, Luann?
So I was on the much slower path because I was a single mom, so that's my excuse. But I closed 6 in the first 6 months.
I like that.
What was the first year?
First year, Brent.
I did 110.
Can you remember that for
Just
me?
totally kidding. Nobody's 18 the first year. 1996.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Okay, so first year's great. That's everyone came out of the gate, I think, doing pretty well there. What would you say after like 3 years? What did your business look like 3 to 5 years after you got started?
Okay, 3 years later, I believe that year I sold 38 homes, still less than Kevin Cooper.
But you made up for it.
Okay, so I was maybe at 12 in a year.
And in 3 years, I was about 80. There's a guy named Pat Shea. He runs Lion Real Estate. We were at the same company at the same time. And my first year, I did, say 40-something ins, and almost all of them were buyer-ins. And all Pat, who was a broker at the time, just said, yeah, but can you list a home? And it changed everything.
So do you think that was the big part of going from 30 to 40 to 80?
Absolutely. Listing homes, you leverage a lot more time. And, my time into a home with the systems I have right now, maybe 4 hours on a listing, and a buyer, it could be 40 hours.
And Luann, what was the biggest single contributing factor to you yourself increasing your business?
I creeped along and did education, traveled, got a lot of education and knowledge, and then I started to believe in myself. That took a while, that I could do this, and I got into coaching, and that was, oh, wow, I can do this.
Okay.
And now tell him how many homes. Can I ask her how many homes?
Of course.
How many homes do you sell a year roughly now?
Yeah. Well, I've got 58 closed and 11 in contract right now this year.
That's pretty good.
So probably 75 by the end of the year?
She's getting her stride.
Oh, yeah.
Getting her stride. So I think it was the fourth year I did 48. And then I went to a coaching event in Toronto. Someone called me 10 o'clock at night and said, what are you doing this week? I'm like, I don't know, showing property, doing some open houses, doing what we all do, right? He goes, no, you're not. We're going to Toronto. We leave at 3:30 in the morning for the airport. I'm like, I am not doing that. By 10:30 that night, he's like, I'm buying your ticket. I go, do not buy my ticket. I'm not going to Toronto. This is my neighbor. He goes, no, I don't want to go alone. You're coming with me. He goes, oh, too late. Bought your ticket. I'm like, don't worry. I was at cheaptickets.com. He goes, how much? He goes, $1,900 last second. And I went to that event. That year, I went from 48 to 108 in 12 months. I just rocked it because like these, she got into coaching, he got into coaching, and learned about leverage and marketing and database and building a team, and it was powerful.
What was that event?
Craig Proctor Super Conference, #1 Remax agent in the world at the time. It was 1999. We did party.
That's awesome. All right. Obviously, one of the ways that we learn in real estate is through making mistakes. But you guys are all rock stars. You probably very few of those, right? You guys make any mistakes at all? No? None? No. Seriously, I know that we all do, and that's one of the ways that we learn the most is from those small little failures and pick up and keep going. Can you guys share a little bit about some of the mistakes that you've made? In public, yes, please.
I don't know if we have enough time for my mistakes. So one of the first mistakes, and I'll share this all with you, is when the market's doing well like it is now, people will love to separate you from your wallet, right? So make sure you're aware of the fact that, you can prospect for little to no money, but to market is a very expensive endeavor. And one time, some guy convinced me to pay him $3,000 to run a commercial at night, and it ran allegedly at 2 o'clock in the morning, but I can't stay up past about 10 o'clock, so I never know it, so I never saw a commercial. So, you just have to be very, very careful about, what you're spending, really protect your dollars, especially the way the market's going, right now, and inevitably we're going to have some change. Just look at your operating expenses, keep your money, your spend down, your cost down, and your revenue high, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah, so realtors are easy to sell to, right? Because we all get calls every single day trying to sell us something. That's right. That's how we justify it.
Oh. Yeah, I had to think about it. There are numerous. I was choosing which one. But probably the mistake I regret was just copying what I thought was success because somebody else was on the back of Safeway receipts. That must be the key that I knew. Or a bus bench. And those kind of things. Just not doing my homework. Emulate success, but make sure it's working before you spend money on it. And so don't just get suckered into, that kind of stuff.
No, I like that because, right, there's always gimmicky stuff out there. There's always the new next best thing. But so with both of you really, saying don't buy into it, what would you kind of consider your greatest resources now for leads?
It's a double-edged sword. We do these panels. We succeed because I always say we failed more than every one of you in the room. We did make those mistakes. We weren't afraid to try things. He did do the radio at 3 o'clock in the morning. So did I. I didn't succeed in radio till the third time. 2 failures and the third success. So do try things. Don't go, well, they said not to, I go, yeah, we said that. But also be willing to take risks and fail forward, and you learn. I think we play it way too dang safe. If you're going to door knock, do it with passion and do it for weeks and weeks and weeks till you figure it out and ask a lot of questions. Watch a lot of YouTube videos. If you can do the expireds for sale by owners, I'm an open house guy. My open house training is all online. I think in 2005, we sold 429 homes that year. 318 were strangers we met at open houses that year. So it's like, okay, that's what's he doing? It's online. You can go watch it. And we still do it to this day with my 24 agent team, my personal local 24 agent team up in Roseville.
I will say that one of the things that I didn't do was to look for somebody to mentor with that was actually doing what I wanted to do. And I was alone and feeling very alone in my struggle to succeed, and I didn't have to do that, but I just didn't know. So they matched me with somebody that I found out basically sold the average number of homes a year. So he was selling 7 homes a year. I was learning his processes, and it was.
And you sold 7 homes a year.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine, then I sold 7 homes a year that year. And I paid him half my commission for that. So that was kind of sad. And I just want everyone to know that there's lots of us here available to help and just guide you all, because there's a quicker way to success.
Good answer.
Come on, Kevin, dive in. Or maybe we'll back up, and then we'll get nitty gritty, and then because I keep hearing the recurring theme, right, of coaching, mentorship, all that stuff. But so I kind of have a question, Brent, even maybe personally, because I am probably the worst person in the world when it comes to follow up and those type of things, like a lot of agents are. So how does 318 strangers convert to close deals? What kind of suggestions or maybe tips would you give as far as nurturing, right? From, I know this is long-winded, but nurturing, right, from cold to that warm lead to closed.
Well, I mean, I'm going to go old school on you, but one of the things I did was when I finally had my breakthrough, my broker goes, I'm like struggling my first 6 months. I think I sold 3 or 4 homes. It wasn't working for me. And I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, just get people in your car and go show them property. They'll get excited. Then drag them back to Fair Oaks from Elk Grove. I did all my first sales in Elk Grove. And every time we wrote an offer, I convinced them to go back up Highway 99 North, get on 50 all the way to Fair Oaks East, get up on Sunrise, fight the traffic. We'd write offers in our office. It was insane, but it worked. And that next year, I went from 3 or 4 in 6 months to, I think, 18 in 12 months. But Luann hit it on the button on the head. If your mentor sells 7 homes a year, you'll probably rise to their level of success. They're teaching you their systems. You don't want to learn that system. Find a mentor who, like, maybe they do the luxury market out in Wilton and they're doing 35 deals a year, 40 deals a year at $700,000 a year. You can make a good living. Go work for that person. On a 50-50 split. I remember when I was at 48 homes a year and I made $393,000, I found a guy doing 170. Now I was like, how do you do 170? I'm maxed at 48. So I thought I'll go work for him on a 50-50 split. Now I'm making $393,000 a year. I'm going to go backwards to a 50-50 split. It's going to cost me $200,000, but he thinks totally differently. I got no more time in my day. I'm working 5, 6, 7 days a week. I'm coaching Little League. I'm coaching soccer. I got a wife and kids. I'm busy. There's no way I can possibly get past 48. And I was willing to give him $200,000 a year just to learn from the man. What would you pay? And so stop being so doggone, focused on what do I get? 50-50, 60-40, 70-30, 80-20. Somebody like, well, I got a 95-5. Congratulations, and nobody's helping you. You negotiated yourself out of help. I started on a 50-50. My broker was motivated to help me. So I think I got off topic, but I digress. Go ahead. Your turn. Yeah. I'm totally lost.
I just to continue on that. No, Brent's exactly right. A split means nothing. I mean, would you rather have 100% of a grape or 50% of a watermelon? Right? If Bill Gates says, "Come work for me," and you can have 1% of what I earned this year, you'd be stupid not to go work for Bill Gates, right? So the split means nothing. It's what did you make at the end of the year? I can't tell you how many times an agent will sit in front of me and they're talking the 95 or something crazy. It's like, go do it yourself. You can have all the glory. You can get your sign up there. You can have all the liability of your name, all the liability of your employees, all the liability of the phones, the copier, the scanner, the faxer, the internet, the electricity. You can have 100% of everything. The split means nothing. It literally does. What it means is at the end of the year, what do you make? And the mentorship is everything. If you associate yourself with the right people, you can go ahead and make whatever you want. And there's a time and place. If you come on and you work for somebody, it's just no different than going to college and sitting at the back of the room and the person sitting up at the lectern, the professor is the one you're paying to listen to. And it doesn't mean that's going to be a slave-master relationship. At some point, you're going to go ahead and progress, and it might be time for you to step out and do your own thing, and that's okay.
I agree.
Thank you, Luann. I think a lot of people in this room would really love to know what your guys' best lead source is these days, right? Everyone wants to close more deals. So what would you guys say is your best lead source?
For my team, open houses. For me, the radio.
For me, it's my past clients, my sphere, and some internet too.
All right.
Yeah, for me, past client sphere, my team definitely open houses, and more we're able to convert the internet leads. That's something we'll talk about later, I'm sure.
Thank you. If we were to drop you guys anywhere in any city that you were unfamiliar with, what do you think you guys would be doing to get started and to make sure you made money right away?
Hands down, I would get a whole bunch of open house signs. I'd find people that have an open house and they're out of the area. I'd call them up and introduce myself. I'd tell them, hey, I live in the area, so if you need me to open the door for inspectors or something, I'd be happy to do that. I'd set my signs up and I'd go do open houses. And I think if you run an effective open house, meaning that if you get it set up on Tuesday or Wednesday and you actually advertise it on your social media and then go out and put an abundance of signs, it's realistic to think an overabundance of signs, maybe 20 signs, not 2 or 3, right? The more signs you get, the more opportunity for someone to come and see how great you are. At the end of the day, at the very least, the lowest common denominator, if you just got one good lead, and let's say you go on 4 weeks vacation, that means you have 48 weeks that you don't work. So if you get 48 weeks that you do just one open house, and you convert just one person, that one person means you can get them to the table, because you can't count your conversion rate on the phone, right? Get them to the table, and you got 48 at-bats, and let's say you suck, and you only can convert 50%, that's 24 deals in this town, and you are a player in real estate.
I totally agree with the open house thing. Not only do you get the leads, but you start listening to people talk about the neighborhood and the schools, and you start kind of questioning them about what they like about living here so that you'll know. So you can get a lot of education during your open houses. I also always have a lender with me to help me familiarize what's going on in the neighborhood. If no one's walking in, then I better be getting some kind of education out of my time being there.
And it's good security having a lender with you. If your lender's a woman, pick a burly woman. So she does nunchuck skills or something. As a taser, you can tag team on bear spray. But for sure, open houses, the thought of doing that is exciting to me, actually. I mean, I'd get 30 open house signs. That's the number I would get, 30. You get the corrugated plastic. They're $8-9 a piece. It's not that much money. I would start at 10 a.m. Saturday morning, and I'd finish at 5. If it was still smoking and people come through at 5, I'd stay till 6. If it's still busy, I've pulled my signs at night. Started at 10. I've done 11-hour open houses. Man, I've picked up 19 buyers in a day, no cost. 19 approved, ran their credit buyers in one day. That is my record, by the way. And that was in a rain. It was in a snowstorm. It was a snowstorm here in Elk Grove. We used to do open houses in the snow, right, guys? And I remember that day it was blowing so hard, we went to Cragen's Auto Supply, and I bought bungee cords because the signs would not stay. Wrapping them to trees and phone poles and all kinds of sign violations. It was awesome. But they had 37 people come through the open house, and we get 19 approved buyers in 3.5 hours. And if you want to know what I say at my open houses, my record was $3.8 million in 1 year in commissions from open houses. It's pretty much all open houses. Watch it. It's online at BrentGoveResources.com. There's nothing for sale other than the book I wrote called Momentum. It's $29. Shameless plug. I'm sorry. But I have all kinds of training, real estate training. Click on the button, real estate training, how to do a mega open house. It's all right there. Watch that thing, own it, steal it, borrow it. But I would do 10 to 5 on Saturdays and 10 to 5 on Sundays. I would go to church Saturday night. That's a priority in my life. And so I catch the Saturday evening service, or if you don't have one, then early Sunday morning, then again, crank. And I would take my time during the week. I was the dad coaching Little League and 2 soccer teams, under 10. I was the dad at Apple Hill, at Bishop's Pumpkin Patch, at the Sacramento Zoo. I was the dad because I had my free time during the week, Monday through Friday. On the weekends, I was a weekend warrior, baby. But I was mixing up the public full-time jobs and could afford to buy homes. So with them, open houses all the way.
That's awesome. I'm curious, when you guys are dealing with this many buyers, you must at some point have to compete, right? There's properties that have multiple offers on there. What do you guys do? What do you say? How do you get your offer accepted and your client in to be, in the front of the line?
For me, it starts before you take them out. Make sure you have a good lender that you're partnered with. We have some good lenders here today. Make sure you support them. But partner with a good lender. Make sure you don't get anyone in your car who's not qualified. Complete waste of your time. Once they're qualified, look and see what the market is. The market ebbs and flows. Not too long ago, everyone was closing loans in 17 days. Then this rate dropped and you get all these refinances, right? And it's cluttered things up and slowed them down just a little bit. I'm not saying they can't do it, but it's harder to do it. Maybe if you have them go all the way through underwriting, and you can go ahead and waive your loan contingency. Whoa, imagine that. I got an FHA deal and I just waived my loan contingency. I just became as strong as a conventional deal, right? And then just looking at, there's more than just price, there's terms, and just being able to call up that listing agent and don't ask do you have any offers? When are you going to present? Is the house still available? All right, that's why I don't answer my phone. Real talk, okay? Because it's right. What you want to do is maybe say, hey, I just showed your home. My client loves it. I want to write a winning offer. We're going to come in really strong. I just want to make sure, do I still have time to get my offer in? Awesome. And what's the title company you use? Fantastic. Is there anything important with the seller wants, like a rent back or anything? Great. And, before I go ahead and hang up, is there anything that's like your signature counter that I can just go ahead and write it in the contract so I can give you an offer that your client will smile at? Is that okay?
Love that. That's awesome. So you can get your client underwritten before you make an offer?
Absolutely. I always have my clients underwritten.
Always underwritten before you make an
'cause
offer.
I can't waste my time. And it makes it much easier to get shorter contingencies and get those babies
Faster
rolling,
closings.
faster closings. And so I do call the listing agent also and ask them what is important to your sellers. Do we need a rent back? Do we need quick close, contingencies removed? What's going to make them happy? Do they need the refrigerator? I just ask those questions. I need to know what is going to make.
So you want to make it win for the seller as
I
well.
want to make it for the sellers. And the other wonderful thing about networking, guys, is if you know that agent, it's Kevin Cooper or if it's Brent Gove, you call them up personally. They have your phone number in their phone. They actually answer, and then you grill them. You grill them.
So you network, socialize, get to know your fellow realtors. Perfect.
One of the ways is don't leave a voicemail or send an agent an email. I mean, I just returned my voicemails from 4 weeks ago, okay? So just give up on that. You text people is how you do it, or IM, and you like, hey, Kevin, this is Brent Gove. It's urgent. I have great news. And then silence. Are they going to respond, right? I'll leave one message. Doug, Brent Gove, hey, call me. It's absolutely urgent. I have great news. Here's my number. And then that's how I do it. You don't have to do it. She doesn't like that, but I do it. I've done it to yes, that's what I do. But my record is 14 buyers in escrow in a single month. And, imagine selling in a home every other day for an entire month. And as far as what I do, they're hitting the nail on the head. Become best buddies with that listing agent. Totally communicator. You guys ever shocked? I had a guy chew me out. It was Monday night. He goes, I haven't heard from you. I'm like, why should I call you? He goes, I sent you an offer last Friday. I go, you did? He goes, yeah, I emailed it to you. I'm like, don't you think maybe you should have told me? Didn't you see it? I go, no, I didn't see it. I would have presented it last Friday. You'd be in escrow if you simply would have texted me. So lots of questions. Kevin hit it on the head. What do you like? What does your seller like? What's important to you guys? Do you have something you put in a counter I could just do now? Who's your favorite titer? Your goal is to write an offer that they won't counter. And I always say, Luann, here's what I'm going to do. We're going to close in 12 days, 14 days. Write that down. Every deal closes in 12 to 14 days, whether it's occupied or not. And I know your sellers are there. We're going to give them 2 months to move out rent-free. We're going to buy it as is. We're putting up a $50,000 earnest money deposit, and we're coming in $3,000 over full price. and we're not asking for a pest report. I mean, you think, well, that's crazy. Fine, keep writing your offers. I'll keep writing mine. And now you wonder why we sell a lot of homes. I used to dread when I was a new agent multiple offers. Oh, this sick thing. Remember when you're new? Oh no, multiple offers, I'm going to lose. I love multiple offers. Coach my client, we got to come in strong. Here's what we're going to do. Bup. Well, my lender can't close in 14 days. Get a new lender, right? I have 7 lenders that can close in 10, 12, 14 days. Just haul butt and get it done. And so you can write your offer. You can write this type of an offer. And when we say, hey, you get paid in 12 days, Sheldon, you excited about that?
Always. I actually have some MLS numbers I'm going to give you before we leave here.
Right. Yeah.
I'll take some of those offers.
There you go.
No, that's great, and I like what you said. Right, the email doesn't. It's not communication, especially when you're in scenarios like that. And then getting to know the other agents, I would double down on that too. It makes all the difference in the world.
Can I just say one more thing? As
Always.
you get to know the agent, I remember my funnest one. I said, "Here's the offer we're writing you." Full price, all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be in your inbox in 10 minutes. She was awesome. She goes, thank you so much. I'm going to get 50 calls on this property today. I'm too busy. I don't have time to deal with that. I'm horrified. I go, then can I offer a suggestion? She goes, what? I go, your client's going to take my offer. She goes, yeah. I go, just mark it pending. She goes, I can't do that. I don't have your offer. Yeah, you can. Take your mouse and you go, click, just pending. She did it. She marked it pending. Hadn't even written. I did that thing so quick. Got DocuSign over to her. But I got her to mark it pending. So you talk to the agent. Be smart, and you can do some fun stuff.
That's part of it. It's just getting educated on what other agents are asking for and looking for, and not sounding stupid when you say things. But it's okay. We'll help you. I had somebody say, "Well, we're going to do a quick close, so." What do you want besides that? I said, well, you can give us a free rent back for a month. My seller would like that. It's multiple offers. And he said, you can't do that. I said, I do that all day long. And so you write your offers the way you write them, and I'll write mine with free rent back, and then I'll get all the houses that we want. Anyway.
Sellers love free rent.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, absolutely. And, just to kind of double down on some of that. So I'm circling back. I heard 13 deals your first year, 7, and Kevin started running at 40. But so those are big leaps. So at what point in that process did it transition to, okay, I need the coach, I need the mentorship? Where does the coach come into play in your mind? When is somebody ready for that?
I think you're never too early for coaching. It can be expensive, but it's investing, not spending. So you're investing in yourself. But there's so many sources out there. There's books. When I first came in the business, I made a commitment that I was going to read 1 book a week every single week for the first year, and I did it for the first 2 years. So in 2 years, I read over 100 books that are real estate, finance, or business related. So you talk about jumping your curve. That was my coach, and it was very cost effective. Now we have YouTube. You can go on YouTube and watch anything. I mean, my daughter came to me one day and she had a perfectly tied double Windsor. I said, how'd you do that? She said, I went on YouTube, Daddy. Right? So, I mean, that's the reality of what you have out there. So definitely get your coach. And then, I don't know if you do it before or after leverage. I'm going to go segue side note is I was the world's greatest buyer's agent ever. Nobody was ever better than me. I was the best. Nobody could handle my clients like me. And I kept doing it until I hit the law of the lid and I didn't leverage. And there's a guy, Steve Hall, you here? Raise your hand, Steve Hall. Yeah. So Steve Hall's back there. I was the first buyer's agent I ever had. I was freaking terrified. I was going to hand over my most prized possession, my buyers, to somebody else. And Steve was at KW and he was like the rookie of the year. And he was, everyone thought he was dumb for coming and getting on my team. And it was, I think, an eye-opening experience for me and for him, because I found out, you know what, they like Steve better than they like me. And it allowed me to go list some homes. And that was my game changer, without a doubt. Steve Hall back there. So thank you, Steve. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. So as you guys, start to build your career, the time challenge is really, really hard. Once you guys get to a point where all the time in your day is totally consumed, how do you balance that work-family life? How do you guys get past that? It's tough.
Leverage other people. Start hiring Start getting buyer's agents. Help.
When 2005, I had 45 buyer's agents. So I was working at Remax Gold. It was like, oh my God, how do you manage it all? Well, if you hire outgoing, driven buyer's agents, they don't want to be managed. So you just got to guide them. I didn't manage any of them. I never worked so little in my life. And I go to work at 10 or 11, leave at 2 or 3, and take Friday, Saturday, Sundays off. It was awesome. You keep going solo, you will burn out. Divorce rate is very high because you will typically work 7 days a week. So I went to counseling in 2010, and the counselor kept talking about boundaries. I'm like, I hate that word. I like freedom, right? But he's right. Today, I could tell you boundaries are super important in your life. I have them. You know, my wife and I, as soon as it's over, my wife and I are going on a hot date tonight. We leave Thursday for Cabo for a week, and we get back, go to Las Vegas for a week. Easy for us. But we did this stuff for a long time, years, decades. But I had to, in the downturn, I kind of let my fences fall over. I'm like, when you start losing 10, 20, 30,000 a month because you've got office space and leases and overhead, because I had this giant team, my overhead was $118,000 a month. I was still netting $188,000 a month net, and some months 200, 240, and my best month net 288 in a month. But I couldn't get out of my contracts quick enough, so I was stuck. And when the market flipped, it flipped on a dime, and I'm losing 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000 a month for years. And so I did let the boundaries slip. So the way you do it is you decide when you're going to go out with your sweetheart. Kathy and I go out twice a week. My wife and I, we date each other. We make it fun. We make it romantic. And we used to go to Taco Bell and get a taco. It doesn't have to be expensive. Now we can afford to go to nicer places. That's not important. We trade with other families who had kids. Hey, watch our kids Friday night. We'll watch your kids Saturday night. So these things have to cost a lot. But Little League was in there. Put the big rocks in first. Church was in there. Bible study was in there. Things that are important to you that you value. Feed real estate what's left. Don't give it the best part of your life and feed your family what's left. To come home exhausted and tired and wonder why everyone's upset because you're checked out, having a glass of red wine on the couch, just like gone. Real estate will, listen to me. This is if you get nothing else that you come here today. Real estate will consume 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There's so much to do. It's endless. So you decide when you'll work, design a schedule, honor the schedule, be willing to lose $1 million listing. Be willing to lose. It's easy for you to stay in your position now. No, I did that before I was in this position. So that's a cop out on your part. Your wife, your husband, your 5-year-old, your 15-year-old, your 13-year-old daughter, your 17-year-old son is more important than the stupid listing in Wilton or out in the Delta, all that kind of stuff. So it's okay if you don't get all the business. You want to have a life. And so decide when you'll work. Yeah, thank you. People are getting rowdy here. Preach it. All right.
No, that's true. And I think, Kevin, if you can grab that mic, because I think we've had this conversation before, and you're one of the best I've seen at it about setting those expectations up front with clients. And, you kind of like I do, right? Sundays, the phone goes off. Why don't you maybe lead into that a little bit and help people figure out how they can get there?
Yeah, so when we sign up for this noble profession called real estate, you're signing on for weekends and evenings, right? We love clients who have jobs, and that's normally Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. So you're going to be working an evening and or a weekend until you find somebody to do it for you. I rarely work evenings, and I rarely work weekends. And the word is operative word, rarely. But, and my wife knows if I leave, if I'm putting my clothes on a Saturday to go out, I'm going to get paid. I don't go out to try to sell a house. I don't go out to try to list a house. If I'm working a Saturday, I'm getting paid because I could be doing something else that I'd rather do, like ride my motorcycle up in the middle of nowhere where I have no cell phone reception. That's where I love to just get away from everything and everybody. And so, to your question, it's just really important for me to set those boundaries. It's important for me to go ahead and have the quality of life that's important to me. Like Brent's saying, all business isn't good business. I'm not going to sell my soul. We've been blessed enough that, it's not going to pay my deals, and I love it. It allows me to have some semblance of, self-respect. I don't care who you are or how much money you think you have. It doesn't mean crap to me because I'll walk away if you can't respect me, right? And I think that's what you'll have to make sure. Who cares about that check? You miss out on the $1 million check. Guess what? Go get $300,000 houses. They're going to turn faster. You're going to make more money. Those people are going to love you, and they're going to grow into something else. That $1 million place might run you around. You're going to spend a lot more to market and take a lot more time to sell it. And at the end of the day, it may not sell, and you're out a bunch of money. So realistically, looking at your business and just kind of knowing where it's at. But for me, my family comes first. Make no mistake about it. My health comes first. Make no mistake about it. Everything else in the business is secondary. And there's plenty of time. I think the difference between the people that are truly successful, whatever successful is, like I learned this recently. Rich is having money. Wealthy is having time.
I love it. And I'm 100% with you there, right? Family comes first. There's always another real estate deal out there. It's there. But, and then I think a lot of help is having the proper systems and things like that in place. It affords you to leverage yourself. But why don't actually, that could even be a good minute. Brent, I know you had a little surprise with a couple of guests that you were bringing in here today. Maybe now would be the time to pull those guys up. Sure. And then after that, maybe we'll kind of open it up to the crowd for a few questions and go from there.
Well, I was presented something by a company called Home IQ that I've been doing this 23 years. It blew my socks off. And I did not realize you didn't have a screen here, so they can't project up and show you what I saw. But hopefully in a few minutes, they'll be able to communicate enough for you to listen to what they have to say. It is the coolest thing I've ever seen in my career. We're not getting paid anything to say this. It was just that mind-blowing and good. And I'm bummed you can't actually see it. But come on up here, you guys. Home IQ, come on up and we'll... only you're okay. Give him a hand. Give him a hand. Come on.
Hey guys, I'm Gavin with Home IQ, and today there's some great stuff that you guys are getting in this group. I think what's really cool about real estate is kind of what they're conveying is there's no right way to do it, right? There's a ton of different ways to be successful. You got to do what's right for you and what works for your family and your business. But these guys worked really hard to get their clients. That's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing they're working tons of hours. They're getting all these clients. They're doing open houses. They're doing all this energy to get their clients. It's super important to keep those clients. That's what a real business is keeping the clients that you get into your funnel long term. And right now, as you guys know, the landscape is changing. There's a ton of money being pumped into technology that's looking to steal the attention of your guys' clients. They are enticing them with crazy offers, telling them they don't need agents to do transactions. That's what's currently happening. Literally billions of dollars trying to reduce or replace the agent's role. We wanted to kind of flip that. We've been working on technology and agents tools for a long time, and we wanted to empower agents with technology and bring you guys something really cool to engage with your customers and clients to keep them inside of your funnel. And like he said, get some more listings potentially, because as you guys know, time and energy is your most important resource. So if you could get a listing, that leads to more buyers, that leads to more business. That's what we wanted to build. We wanted to build a tool that also repositions you, right? Takes you out of the traditional, how do I feng shui your house, winterize your pipes, things like that agents are sending to your clients, and bring them a really cool tool called Home IQ that we built that positions you as the home wealth advisor to your clients. So it's not a 5 to 7 year relationship you're having with these people. You're sending them really cool individualized data about their homes and touching on all the different data points, educating your clients so they could time the real estate market, so they can make better real estate decisions, so they could save money potentially on that mortgage, their largest asset. When people retire, that's usually their largest chunk of money is what they have in the equity in their home. And we want to help you guys empower your customers to work with you and give you guys a really cool tool to do that. We don't have the ability to show you that today, which is kind of a bummer. But if you come visit and talk to us, we'll show you how you could potentially get this for free in your business and start using it tomorrow. Because that's the most important thing when you guys come to these events is the execution, right? Ideas are worth nothing unless you do something with it. So I appreciate the time, guys, and hopefully you get the rest of this.
Yeah, give me a hand. Give me a hand. Do you have business cards and information? Take a picture, Home IQ. You absolutely have to do it. They're not going to ask you for money, okay? Check it out. You'll have your mind blown. I promise you, it's a big, big deal. Thank you.
HomeIQreport.com.
HomeIQreport.com. I want to say one thing about boundaries, can I?
Yes, please.
In real estate, we have to be what? A marketing expert, right? We have to be a sales expert, right? So you're marketing director, your sales director. Then you have to be good with your finances, pay your taxes. Should we pay our taxes? Now you're a CFO, chief financial officer, right? And then you have to be good with technology, right? Kind of be on the cutting edge. So CTO, chief technology officer. So you're juggling, a marketing, sales, paying your taxes, running your books, staying up with technology. You're juggling all these balls, right? Well, there's a fifth ball. There's many actually, but the fifth one is your family. That ball's made out of crystal. All the other balls you could drop. You could drop the technology ball, it'll bounce over there, but you go back and pick it up and start playing with it again. You could drop the sales ball. Man, I'm a little rusty on my sales, and you can pick it up, it'll start bouncing again. You drop the family ball, it's made out of crystal. You don't get to pick it up and play with it again the way you once did. So that is a ominous warning I heard one time. And does that help at all? Kind of make you think about that family, your kids, your loved ones? So, yeah.
No, definitely appreciate that. That's important, having that balance. One of the things I love about California real estate is our cycle, right? There's tons of opportunities when the cycles change. We've been appreciating right now since 2010. I'm curious to know where you guys think we're at in our market cycle. Can you give your opinion, please?
My opinion is, let me see, we had this thing called the Great Recession of 2008. Let me see, here in Elk Grove, the bottom of our market was 2012. Let me see, we've been on about a 10-year run, almost 11 years. Let me see if I go into this thing called Google, you might have heard of it, and you put in historical real estate trends, you'll find out we're got to be near our zenith. If I look at the stats here in Sacramento, we only went up about 3%. In terms of home values, last year was the lowest we've done since the collapse. So it's all an indication the market's going to correct. Now, what that looks like, I don't know. It's interesting. I was on the board at Habitat for Humanity, and we were talking about that last night. For example, Habitat for Humanity historically has built new homes, right? And last year we built 6 new homes, but we rehabbed 20. We were able to get some homes from Sacramento Housing Authority, the cannabis homes, and renovate them at a fraction of the cost. And so the reason I say that and tie all this in is we have a housing crisis here in California, right? We have a homelessness problem and we have a housing affordability. I truly believe the market is losing momentum without a doubt. And we're going into the seasonal period of our market. And if you look at it statistically, right now, this month statistically is a month that has the biggest delta between the amount of inventory and the demand. So for anyone working with buyers, go out there and freaking write your offers right now. You're going to get accepted because people are going to keep their house on the market until you start carving turkeys and stuff like that. Then they'll pull it off and think it's a bad idea. That being said, if you are going to go ahead and buy, it's a great time to buy right now. But I don't see what happened in 2008 happening again because that was irresponsible lending practices. I had a mortgage company. I could have got your dog a loan if you gave me his social security number. That's just how it was, right? It ain't like that. Once that happened, the lending practices, the pendulum swung so much and went back this way, it's starting to come back a little bit. But the reality is God's not making any more land, right? The population for California continues to grow. So I don't see that great recession we had in 2008 happening again, but I certainly see it changing because the two things that fuel the market are greed and fear. And fear will almost always prevail over greed. And if you doubt what I'm saying is, if you took a lifelong to amass your savings, and someone said, I'll flip a coin, and if it's heads, you double your savings. If it's tails, you give it all to me and have nothing. There's probably not a person in this room that would take that bet. The market's fueled by fear. As soon as the market starts to correct itself, people are going to start bailing out and the deals are going to be there.
Sounds so scary.
I know.
So, shameless plug, tomorrow I am part of the Asian Real Estate Association, and we have a luncheon with Senator Richard Pan and what's the Vice Mayor Guerra. Mm-hmm. He's also going to be there, and they will be talking about the rent control that is passing in California and how that's, I don't know.
All bad. All bad.
That's really bad. So if you wanted to get some more updated information on that, I have some seats left, and it's a lunch and learn 11:30 to 2 tomorrow. So just reach out to me and get a little more educated on what's going on, because we do have a lot of rental properties in this market.
Yeah, it's a funny thing with all the talk of rent control, when they're talking about taking your guns away and your guns. What happens? They sell a ton of guns, wipe out the ammunition. Rents have exploded in Sacramento. Everyone's freaked out about rent control. So everybody's raising their rents. It is insane, which is going to help our struggling market as we crown. I agree. I got to be honest with you. I thought it'd be last year, this year. It's blowing life into it. I know up in Rockland, my kids bought a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home. My son and my daughter, 23, 25 thing. It's a little cracker box. It's a bird turd. We painted it, put carpet in it. They live there, not in Dad's house. Dad's house was nice, but they got to earn their own. I don't dole it out. We give them $4,800 for carpet and paint. That was it. But that thing rents for $2,000 a month now. That little nothing, and that is going to keep blowing life into this market. How long it goes, I don't know. But we don't have the NAGAM loans. We don't have the Pick-a-Pay loans. We don't have the Ninja loans. We don't have the stated income. I mean, there's still stated income, but it's real stated income loans that it was meant to be. So with rents being where they are and the population growing, we're gonna just chug along. But here's the deal: whether we're doing this, or whether we're doing this, you sell on the way up, you sell here, you sell here. You're gonna sell. So there's nothing you can do about what's gonna happen at the market. One thing I would not do is go buy a boat. Go buy a $100,000 BMW. Go buy a plane. Go get yourself strung out on payments. Now is the time to make sure you pay off all your debt, because it's going to happen. We're going to have a pullback. I don't think it's going to be that bad, just like Kevin said. I've been through the 90s one. I went through by the way, it was July 2005. I don't care what anyone says. I asked James O'Brien, Remax Gold, all hell broke loose summer of 05. Prices held till 08, but the market just shut down overnight, man. It was like brutal. And so for me, my world came crashing down summer of 05. Those 45 agents I had, we're selling, I think I closed 68 homes in June of 05, and I got paid 68 times in 1 month. Is that good? Is that leverage?
It's
yes
amazing.
Or no? Right? The next month, we closed on 19. Now, I took 120 people to Phoenix. We went golfing. We went swimming. We played after the 4th of July. So I thought, okay, I should have done 2 big holiday vacations, so it'll be better in August. It went 16. It went 12. By Christmas, 45 of us sold 9 homes. That was December of 05. We were busting our ass. We were doing everything we could. I watched everybody go bankrupt. I watched all the homes get towed out of the parking lot. Everything changed. Homes got boarded up. People were ripping copper wiring out of homes right through the sheetrock, stealing microwaves, dishwashers. It was no fun. You had to kiss John Brophy's ring if you wanted one of his stupid listings. Oh my God, are you kidding me? I used to bribe my way into REO offices. Worst thing in the world. But we did what we had to do to survive. I personally sold my body. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, much. But, popsicles, we'll give you $1 for that. Anyways, but here's the deal. People who have loans now are proud of the loans. The interest rates aren't exploding. They're 3.5, 3.7, 4.1. Someone just got a 3% 30-year fix. They're proud of their rates. They're locked. Their people pay cash for properties, or they put a lot of money down. So I am a little bit more, I just think it's going to do this. It's not going to do this. So I'll just shut up and say this. Please don't go buy a bunch of stuff on credit. That's my big thing. Timeshares, this is not the time, because we're up here. And when you ride a roller coaster, click, 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 right there. You don't want to be caught here having bought your new motorhome, your new 28-foot boat, etc. That's my advice to you right now.
That is great advice. I think anybody that's been in real estate a long time will have some story of the crash and where they got caught wrong.
Right.
Even if you planned for everything right, you still got caught out on something. I've been licensed since 1994 and bought and fixed, sold many homes. So even though I thought I was prepared for the crash, it still caught me out on a few things.
Right, but make no mistake about it. So when the market collapsed, we adapted, and We went from conventional sales to short sales, and we're doing 200 a year. I made a lot of money. I welcome the market to go down again because I know how to make money, because I'm certain of this. There's always going to be marriages. There's always going to be divorces. There's always going to be births. There's always going to be deaths. There's always going to be promotions. There's always going to be demotions. People will always move. And what happens is, instead of you have the 80-20 concept, or maybe 20% of us sell 80% of the homes, it will be 10% will sell 90%, because everybody else who's out there just going by on their good looks and charm, they're going to be out of business.
So the whole goal here today is to give people tools and give them what they need in order to survive and prosper in whatever market we find ourselves in.
Yeah. And I just want to apologize to John Brophy. That was a little pent-up pain from the REO days. It all came towards John. John, if you're watching this, I love you, man. He's retired in Arizona. I love you, man. Anyways, but anybody, raise your hand if you were there submitting those REO offers. Everybody else quit. It's just us. But it was a rough time. Yeah. Okay.
We would love to hear from the audience. If you guys have any questions for our panelists, please. All right, here we go.
For Luann and Kevin, who was your coach? Okay, first Luann.
Well, honestly, the first coach I had, they coached me and didn't know it. If anyone's ever heard of Tracy Cezanne and Pat Shea, we just happened to be in the same Prudential office, and I sold so many houses so fast, they gave me my own office. My office was right outside of their office. And I would hear Pat Shea do a price reduction, or Tracy go ahead and close a buyer. And so all I do is listen to them and copy what they did, and they're my first coach, and I didn't have to pay them anything. My first paid coach, I had a couple that I just didn't really care for. The first one I think that said something meaningful was Mike Fleming, and Mike Fleming was a tremendous coach. He ended up being, I'm a technical person. I need someone to tell me exactly what I need to do to move this widget. I wake up happy every morning. I don't need caffeine. I don't need kumbaya. That's just me personally, right? So I needed somebody. One time, this is when the market was down. We were still doing very well. And Mike said, Kevin, what do you dream about? And I said, I don't dream. If I want something, I work my ass off and I go get it, right? And he just said, that's so pathetic. You're just surviving. You're just getting by. And I was like, wow. It's just like he stabbed me in my heart.
I actually went outside and got a coach with the National Association of Expert Advisors. I actually flew out to Texas to get trained with people to hear more, and my coach was out there, and that was when I so fortuitously met Brent at a swimming pool, and I thought, because I was still a very small agent, and he was already big in many ways. And he was trying to figure out how to make the Facebook picture bigger. Do you remember this?
No.
So, because he couldn't see it, and I thought, he makes a ton of money, and he can't figure out how to put his two fingers on the phone and make the picture bigger. And I thought, wow, we all have strengths and weaknesses, and we can do really well. I mean, no, we're not all the same. We can do this, and that was great, because then that's how we got to know each other. I showed him how to stretch that picture.
She did. I went to a private Bible college up north, Chico State, and I was a C student. It's true, but you get sharp people around you. So Craig Proctor was my first coach. I flew to Toronto, 3,000 miles away to get. Number one RE/MAX agent in the world, I copied him. If he jumped, I jumped. If he lowered whatever he did, I copied. Things I really liked, things I didn't like, but I tried it. It's like, well, try sushi, don't like that. Try spaghetti, don't like that. You like steak, you like, try things till you find out what you like. That's one thing I did well. And I failed it so much, and I failed often, but I got good really quick. That's my message to you. Fail often, try a bunch of stuff, quit playing it safe, quit worrying about your precious ego, and get on with it. My gosh, you could rock your world this weekend here in Elk Grove. Your life could change, but you don't believe it. I believe it. It is so cool. You need a little more Tony Robbins, a little more Zig Ziglar, a little more John Maxwell, a little more 10X Grant Cardone. Woo! Oh, sorry.
Rolf Howard, Coldwell Banker Real Estate. 2 questions for you. What do you do for a daily prospecting routine, and what do your team structures look like?
Okay, daily prospecting routine. The first thing I do is when I come on in, I check my email at home. That's like, I consider that my personal time. So when I show up at the office at 8 o'clock every morning, because I treat it like a job, because that's what the boss had me do for like 20 years, right? I show up at 8 o'clock and I go right into my lead generation and prospecting. It's knowing your prey, if you will. It's like, I came out of UPS, and so I'll make calls all day long from 6:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. It's like, you can't call someone at 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning. Sure you can. You can call anybody who's commuting in traffic, and the way Sacramento's getting more and more, if someone's starting their work at 8 o'clock, you can talk to them all day. They're happy to talk to you at 7:30 in the morning, right? So I would call and I would lead generate, and if you want to get up even earlier than that, send emails out. People will go ahead and respond to you. And in regards my team is myself and my lovely wife, and she does she's the organ grinder and I'm the monkey. But that's another story. You guys, for those of you that get it, tell the guy next to you. So anyhow, she pulls all the strings. But we go out and we list homes together. We have right now 2 full-time buyer's agents and 3 part-time buyer agents. And we really go out there, have my one assistant, and an outsourced transaction coordinator. And so really, I just do things to leverage time. I can make more money if I just want to do it, but I like doing it my way. My way is just so good. And so if I can do it my way, it's so good for me, and I'm making good living, and I can travel where I want, and I can go where I want, and I can do what I want, and I'm not stressed out. Anyone who knows me, you don't see me stressed out. Every morning you see me, I'm happy. Every morning I'm happy. Every morning I'm grateful that I'm alive. If I never have a bad day. There might be a bad moment in the day. You can have your 5-minute pity party. I might curse and fight and beat up a pillow, but after the 5 minutes, guess what? It was a great day, right? And so I just think more so than anything, having your team, and we can talk about that, but leveraging other people's efforts, but making sure you're not leveraging it to their detriment. You're leveraging it to their benefit. If the relationship is not mutually beneficial, if I'm sitting down with someone, and this is a typical conversation when I'm interviewing buyer agents, and I'm interviewing some right now, so anyone want to be a buyer's agent, come see me afterwards, shameless plug. But when you're sitting down, someone's talking about the split and this and that, I say, well, how much did you make last year? Well, yeah, but I want to how much did you make last year? Well, I made $40,000. I said, well, if you made $100,000, would that be a successful year? Absolutely. Well, great, let's sit down and talk. That's all we have to talk about, because if you have the right things that you're doing in terms of making your phone calls, doing your follow-up, being disciplined, being consistent, there's no reason why you shouldn't make at least $100,000 in this business, and you can make a lot more than that. And that's not killing yourself, not at all.
What was the question again?
Prospecting routine daily and team structure.
Okay, so I did all my prospecting on the weekends. I did open houses, did them Saturday and Sunday, and you do that for about 12 weeks. You'll be so busy that you could no longer do the Saturday prospecting routine of open houses. So I got back to only doing them Sundays, then only every other Sunday, then every third Sunday, then once a month, then once every 2 months, once every 4 months. I stopped doing open houses 10 years ago because I just had so much business. So if you're taking notes, write this down: short-term pain, long-term gain. I've had open houses where nobody showed up, and it is depressing. And you learn how to have a prayer life, right? Oh, Jesus, send somebody through the door. I'm going to die. I want to feed my family. Please, God, please. And you lay on the ground. I've laid on the ground in homes in Antelope with cat hair. You get up and there's cat hair all over you, and you're trying to get it off you because someone actually rang the doorbell because God answered your prayer. Okay, I've been there. I've locked myself out of the house, forgot my lockbox. So I did my prospecting was on the weekends. That's what I did Saturday and Sunday. I got rid of Saturdays, and I'd show property at 9, 11, 1, 3, 5, 7, sometimes 9 at night. Every 2 hours on the hour, I would show property. Nobody ever got more than an hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, because I'd need 20 or 30 minutes to get to my next appointment. So it's very methodical. I would double and triple book appointments. I would call you back for 11. Let's say that you were a manager for Midas, which I actually did. I had a manager for Midas Muffler, nice guy. I got his husband, wife. He was an engineer. She was like a doctor of some type. And they wanted to go at his time slot. I go, no problem, booked it. And I'm going to make up your name because I don't know you, Mike. I'd say, hey, Mike, we on for 11? He'd go, yes, Sam. Great. My good friend and partner, Sheldon Steele, will meet you. And I'd dish it off, take a 25% referral fee, and I'd upgrade from the manager of Midas, who's maybe buying a home for $300 to the couple buying a home for $600. So I would double, then sometimes triple book, and I would upgrade my clients. Because if you could sell 30 homes at $300,000, you'll make a lot of money. If you could sell 30 homes at $600,000, the homes are nicer, they're more enjoyable to sell. Your car won't get carjacked while you're showing the house, and you can make double the income, and there's less problems with the homes. Do we all agree? Yeah. So you be smart about that. So that's how I did my prospecting, and then I got so busy every other Sunday. So then I'd go to church in the morning at 9. Done at 10:30. I'm showing property 11, 1, 3, 5, 7. And that's how you start to get, it's a disease called multiple sales disease. Every weekend you sell homes. Every single weekend. 1, 2, 3 homes, sometimes 4 or 5 homes a weekend. He talked about being calm. Will that calm your nerves? How many of you had 5 homes in escrow? Would it calm your nerves? Isn't it awesome when you have nothing in escrow? So awesome. What do you got in escrow? Nothing. I'm so excited. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, my name is April Cook. I am with eXp Realty. I'm also the local Sacramento Association of Realtor meeting coordinator. So I just wanted to make a comment about the marketing statistics you spoke about a few minutes ago. And one thing I've seen, because I did a big study on this, is there's a 30% drop in inventory across the board, locally here in Elk Grove and throughout Sacramento County. I was setting up tour last night for our Tuesday meeting. $1 million property went off tour because it had multiple offers. So the demand is still strong, and I think we're going to have a very interesting first quarter depending upon how inventory holds or doesn't hold, and the demand continues. So I don't think we're in for the downturn quite yet, and it's still going to be pretty strong because there's still multiple offers going on out there. That's it. And Brent, I don't know if you know my name, but I'm second in your line, second level.
Thank you. I'd like to know how large are your databases and how are you maintaining contact with them?
Why are you trying to make me go first? We have 5,000 people in our database, and we use several different CRMs. We use KB Core more for the conversion. We use Wise Agent for really staying in front of people. It's, we've tried every CRM under the sun. We've all heard about Boomtown. Boomtown is supposed to be the greatest thing on earth. No, it's just expensive as hell, and will separate for your money. It's about $1,800 for the CRM, plus you got to put the fuel into it. So the best CRM is whatever CRM that you're going to use. For example, you can use a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet. You can use, 3x5 cards. And honestly, those are the things that I find that work out best for me. But my database. How do I market? Well, you have your Mets and your habit Mets, if you will. So the people that know you, you market to differently than people that haven't met you, or people maybe met one time at an open house or whatnot. We get a lot of business also through Zillow leads, which are way expensive, about $100 a lead, so you better be able to convert them. Yeah, it's crazy, Zillow. Realtor.com, all the different things. So we follow up, because my whole thing is if I'm going to pay for leads, you better follow up on them, and you better treat my money like it's your money, otherwise I'm going to cut that off. And so as long as I hold my dollars accountable for making revenue, then we're good. But that database, like I said, the 5,000, we're constantly sending something out. We're always have a company event. We had an ice cream truck out there and giving away free ice cream into our database. We go to the River Cats and we rent out the whole left field home run alley and bring 150 people out there to a baseball game. But the most effective thing that we do is the one-on-one. If you close a deal and that person was referred to you from somebody on your sphere, keep that person in your sphere notified at certain key points. Hey, we went out. Hey, we got their offer accepted. Hey, we're in escrow. Hey, they're going to close. And then when it's all done, invite that person that referred you, along with that person that purchased or sold with you, take them out to Scott's. So now there's 3 couples out for dinner. It's going to cost you about $500. You just made a $15,000 commission. In my book, that's money well spent.
I have a few thousand also, and we still use the old school top producer just because I tried new things and it's too much to learn. So I stick with the old tried and true, and not great at client parties yet. I do sell houses every year from the $1 calendars that I send out to 500 or so people in my sphere, and that's kind of crazy because they're kind of dumb, and I'm always shocked when I see them on my friends' refrigerators or their file cabinets, but I have gotten at least a deal a year from my calendar. Unfortunately, because of my age, I suppose, somebody will say, my mom had your calendar on their fridge, and then I get to sell somebody's probate sale. But those calendars have worked, and they paid for themselves for sure.
Absolutely. I retired from real estate a year and a half ago. I started earning $100,000 a month, and I went, what would happen if I actually focused on that? And since then, that tripled. And I gave my database to my team. I have 24 agents. I go, here, you take all these people. This takes a lot of work. You guys have this. And they weren't where I was, so they were glad to have all my business. I would carry 18 listings, sometimes 28. Now I don't carry any. I go away on the weekend. I don't have offers to present on Monday or Tuesday, which I thought was great. And it would take up all Monday, Tuesday, then I'd run the deals all week, and that's all cool. But I like my freedom now, and so I've been retired for a year and a half. I'm 53 and loving it.
That sounds really nice.
Question back here. What is your policy on buyer broker agreements? Do you use them? Do you insist on them?
Why me? Okay. So I don't use buyer broker agreements. I've never used a buyer broker agreement. This is just my opinion. It go against a lot of people. But if my value proposition is so strong, if you recognize me as a local area expert, if you recognize my professionalism, if you recognize the influence that I have in the community, that I can call whoever I want and they're going to take my call and I can help you get what you want, I don't need your buyer broker agreement. The buyer broker agreement, quite honestly, is good for us. It really isn't good for the client necessarily. And some people can come up with an argument that they think might be good, but honestly, I want to be able to go to whoever's going to give me the best service. Now, if I find out that you're not loyal and you're cheating on me, I'm going to break up with you, right? And I'm going to sit down in my buyer's consultation from the very beginning, and we're going to talk about that. I'm going to tell you all the things you need to do. I'm going to warn you, don't walk into any new home developments without me, right? And if that person is committed to it and I stick my hand out and they shake my hand, they're going to abide by my rules, and I've never needed it. Have I ever lost a buyer? Absolutely. But I've retained far more than I've lost. And for me personally, your value proposition is everything. If your service is on point, if your knowledge is there, if you can tell them, and I can walk right up to a house and tell you what it's worth. I can walk pretty much anywhere in Sacramento and probably tell you that the number breaks. I have a photographic memory. It served me very well. And so my clients instantly see that when they're saying they want a $300,000 3-bedroom, 2-house, which is like a unicorn right now, I know where they can go and get one and not get shot.
I also do not use the buyer broker agreement, although I was taught to use one in the very beginning, and it didn't gel with me. And I also feel that if I have strong enough value, then those people that I would like to work with and stay with me are going to. And part of the reason that I have been successful is building that rapport with my clients so that they know that I care about them and that their interest is my interest, and I want to get them the best deal and see them happy. They believe that by the end. I have little present points all the way through and make sure that they do feel special. And then their reviews are fabulous, and I just keep collecting those, and it's worked out very well for me, even without the buyer broker. I've just felt that it alienated more people than kept me stuck to them, married to them. I'm not going to go after them if they go buy another house. It's not worth my time and all that negative energy.
If you're constantly losing clients, like they said, your value, something's off. And so, like, there's a mixer. Practice your social skills. Go to Toastmasters. Go to the Chamber of Commerce. Do not be a wallflower. Learn how to talk to people. You'll succeed at a high level in this business because you have the ability to make people feel comfortable instantly. That's who they connect with at open houses, over the phone when you get a sign call. You could disarm them instantly on an internet lead, door knocking, calling the expired, meeting someone in the grocery store. Your ability to big. So have you read Dale Carnegie's How to Influence and Influence People? I have. Have you gone to Zig Ziglar, John Maxwell type events? Have you worked on your social skills? Go to stuff and go, well, I'm just not that way. You will suffer in real estate for a very long time. Go talk to a ton of people, get out of your comfort zone, and it'll become more comfortable to talk to people. That because when you're nervous and uptight and the sweat dripping down your forehead, why didn't they do business with me? Because you look like you have to use the restroom, or you're all intense and they're intense. Like, let's go, honey. So, I don't use them either.
That's awesome. And Brent, you mentioned mixer, and I do see a big pile of food and drinks over there. So we're going to kind of wrap this thing up. But I did have a couple more things I wanted to say. You know, Doug and I didn't do this alone. Luann, Kevin was a great help. Brent, I mean, this wouldn't have happened without you, so we really do appreciate that. But there's a few other people out there. I can see Matt right now. Matt, if you want to stand up for a second. And then I saw Joey running around. I don't know where Joey went. And then I see Frank. And I believe Andrew is here as well. So you guys, if you would go introduce yourselves to them as well, give them a thank you. They've been a tremendous amount of help. And I think one of the big things I may have learned here today is leveraging yourself and others. So I see the mic still in your hand, Brent. So if you were going to end an event like this and segue it into food and drinks, what would you say? Got you.
I'm rarely speechless. Talk to the Home IQ guys. It's really good. Stand up, you guys. Stand up and stand by that wall. Seriously, it's the best thing I've seen in 23 years. No, stand by the wall, Alex. You can do this. All right, let's go have fun. See ya.
Let's do it. Thank you, guys.